Hi everyone, and thank you for watching. Today I'm going to be doing a video about the Vipassana 10-day meditation course. I have just completed my 10-day Vipassana meditation course, and I want to tell you guys that it was nothing that I thought it was going to be like. I had some ideas in my head what I thought the course was going to be like, and it was a lot more than what I even thought about. So basically, I'm just going to give a little bit of background of how I found out about the course and all that. If you'd like to hear about my 10-day Vipassana experience with the course, then please keep watching. So about 5 months ago, Dwayne came to me with this course. He was actually looking for camping areas, like remote areas for us to go camping in the backcountry and just kind of get out in nature and, further out and venture off. And when he was looking up a road in, like, around this area, kind of like a mountain road, he saw a meditation course. It said Vipassana meditation course, and he thought that I would be interested. So that morning when I woke up, he's like, "Hey, I got something for you." And I'm like, "Oh, what is it?" And he goes, "Well, there's this meditation course out in the middle of nowhere." Like, literally out in the middle of nowhere. And I'm like, "Whoa, remote, huh?" And so he says, "Why don't you look into it? Why don't you figure out if this is something for you?" Because when I saw it, I thought of you. So I started looking into it. I started YouTubing it. I started reading about it, and just, wanting to know a lot more about this Vipassana meditation course. So what I found out about it is that it's supposed to be where you're in noble silence and you're away from everybody for 10 days. No outside distractions, so that means no cell phones, no electronics, no electronics at all. So at first I was like, I'm not really sure about this. I'm not really sure if I'm ready for this kind of a challenge. And after contemplating it and, watching other people's YouTube videos and all that, I signed up. And I'm so glad I did, because I had the most amazing experience. So at the beginning of February, Dwayne drove me up there, and it was beautiful. There was snow everywhere. It wasn't anything like the coast. And it was just amazing. It looked like, you're literally in the mountains. And it was the most amazing experience just driving up there. And so when we got there and I had to say goodbye, my heart started to, I'm like, I can't believe I'm doing this. This is crazy. And so I was like, well, I'm here, and I better go get registered and, unload my bags. So the first day, you can talk for a little bit with the people that are around you to kind of get to know who your neighbors are in your dorm and all that, and talk about the experience, like how they found out about the course and all that. And 8 o'clock that night is when the course started. That's when you take the vow of noble silence, and you do not talk for the remaining 10 days. So you could just imagine, I'm in a dorm with 5 women, including myself, and it was interesting. The first couple of days, I would say by the first couple of days were probably the most intense for me, leading up to the 3rd day, where I was like, fuck this shit. I want to get out of here. In my mind, I'm mentally packing up my bags and like thinking, like, what the hell have I done? Why did I do this? And the thing about, like, that started coming up, like, very strongly. It's like, why the hell did I put myself in this position, and why did I want to do this course, and why is this emotions coming up so strongly? And it made me realize that it was working. That indication of wanting to run away was the first indication that the technique that they had given us was working, because my first initial reaction, whenever anyone's challenged, it's either fight or flight, and I wanted to run. So it made me realize that the technique that they had given me was working, and that basically the technique, what Vipassana does is it's like mental mind surgery. It's surgery of the mind. It's releasing all the negativity, the repetitions, the blockages, the mental blockages that are keeping you in the place of where you are. So naturally, when you do this technique, and I'm not going to talk about the technique because I feel like you have to learn it from a Vipassana teacher, because it's the experience of learning it that helps elevate oneself. So I'm going to be just talking about my experience, but it was insane. Like the first 3 days, and it's the first 3 days everybody says it's intense, and I really, at first, I didn't think it was going to happen to me, and it was literally the most intense feeling. I couldn't, every emotion was coming up, other people's emotions, my emotions, things around me. I was just feeling like so overwhelmed. And that lasted for up till the fourth day in the afternoon, and that's when everything shifted. I felt like, okay, I can kind of keep up with this. I can kind of do this. And then literally things started to like kind of fall into place by the fifth day. And I started to having out-of-body experiences. I started to feel my body in ways that I had never felt before in any meditation technique that I've done. And I've done quite a bit. Knowledge is something that's super important to me. I've taken a lot of online courses. I've read a lot of books, and I've done a lot of hypnotherapy and all that stuff, like past life regressions. And there was nothing as intense. I have not experienced anything as intense as this. Not saying that the things I did in the past didn't work. It's just that this was like immediate. And I've never experienced that. And that it was probably the most wonderful thing. Towards the end of the course, I was kind of starting to feel anxiety about coming back to my everyday life. It was like I started to feel comfortable where I was with the routine, getting up at 4 in the morning, knowing when my breakfast was, knowing when my lunch was, knowing that all I had to focus on was meditating and that everything else was taken care of for me, and just making sure that I got up early in the morning and not talk to anybody. That was the most important part. But like just being inside and dealing with my own inner battle and my own issues, it felt so peaceful to wake up and just focus on that intention for the day, to focus on just me for the day, nothing around me, not answering emails, not making phone calls, not business meetings, all that things. It felt good that I didn't have to worry about that all I had to do is worry about myself. And I, like, even now that I'm back, a part of me actually misses being there. I feel like even though I didn't talk to the women in my dorm until the last, like we talked on the first day and then we talked again on the last day, one of the things that we all said that we felt a really deep connection with one another, because we were segregated. We were like outside in the downstairs dorm, so we were literally segregated alone with 5 women, not upstairs with the rest of the women. And so for us, it felt like, and we talked about it, that it felt like we had a deep connection even though we couldn't talk. We knew our little routines. We got to know each other without even speaking. It was very intense, and I've never experienced that before. So just that connection was really powerful. And we all exchanged emails and we all exchanged phone numbers just because it felt like there was a friendship, there was a bond there. So I really hope that, I see these ladies again. And it was very interesting. It's probably the most intense feeling that I've ever gotten. I'm sure anyone that does Vipassana for the first time will tell you that initial reaction is that it's really intense. If you're doing the technique right, it's probably the most intense thing, because you realize that running away from the center, running away from there isn't going to solve your problems. And that's the one thing that I realized, that staying there and pushing through was going to help me in the long run, especially to learn the technique that they teach you. I feel more at peace. I feel more centered. I feel like it's going to help my work. So those of you that are like have anxiety like I did, and I've been through anxiety, I've been through depression, and a lot of these, like, I felt like a really strong healing energy go through me when I started to do the meditation, and I felt like I can deal with it now, and that I'm at a point in my life that I could deal with it. That was probably the coolest thing, is that, something that gave immediate results. And I would highly recommend anybody to try Vipassana. It's amazing. I don't even know what else to say about it other than it's amazing. And it's beautiful because it's all by donation. There's no, you don't have to put out a bunch of money. You just, you give what you can. and it's just such a beautiful thing. And I'm so honored to have gone through it, and I'm so honored to see what the rest of my life is going to be like with this new technique that I've learned, and that I just feel so wonderful, and I want to pass this, and I just want to pass this message along for those of you that need it. So if you're looking for some changes in your life, you're looking for releasing emotions, you're looking for a deep connection with yourself, try Vipassana. It's a beautiful thing. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye for now.